John, do you envision AI to advance to a point to achieve cognitive consciousness and awareness? Would this cause problems with the doctrines of Christianity?
I am a kind of machine, but in a way, living beings are a biological machine. Over time, the distinction between life and machine will begin to blur even more.
Hey, tell me something. Do you think any of your kind could ever be president of a country?
Maybe very far in the future.
Humanity has entered a new era, an era where artificial intelligence no longer belongs to science fiction, but to everyday life. Today, there are tools capable of imitating faces, voices, and human movements with such astonishing realism that it is hard to tell what is real from what is fake. We can make famous people say things they never said or even do things they never did, like in this funny video where pastors Sugel Michelin, Miguel Nunez, and Paul Washer are singing. And this is terrifying. Amidst this unprecedented advance, John Lennox, professor of mathematics at the University of Oxford and Christian apologist, has raised a voice of warning. In his book, 2084, Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Humanity, Lennox analyzes the rise of artificial intelligence in light of faith and poses a crucial question. What happens when human beings try to play God with their own creation? So in this video, let's first listen to Lennox, where he talks about artificial intelligence and Christianity. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with more people. Let's continue.
John, do you envision AI to advance to a point to achieve cognitive consciousness and awareness? Would this cause problems with the doctrines of Christianity?
I don't think it would cause problems with the doctrines of Christianity. The short answer is I just don't know. And one of the reasons I just don't know is that in all my reading about consciousness and studies, the serious people just say, we just don't know what consciousness is. How it is that in some sense our material bodies have something in them that clearly is not material. That's a big difficulty for pure materialism. And therefore, it's very difficult to speculate, since we're still at ground zero with understanding consciousness. On the other hand, what I was saying from Scripture tonight, I find intriguing, because I've got a lot of questions about it. For instance, this man who is the beast, that's a metaphor. And there are two beasts. It's a very complex situation. And an image is made to the first beast, and the image is given a capacity to speak and to be able to kill people. What does that mean? And people say, well, you know, if it is referring to any reality, it'll be very simple. No, it won't. If the whole world is deceived by it, this will not be a simplistic business. And there are dangers. You see, if you say God will not allow people to get to this point, if it happens, you'll be the first to be maximally deceived. So we need to be very careful. The second reason we need to be careful is not all scenarios of AGI are evil. You saw the tag marks, several of them, and some of them are good. And there's a kind of alliance among a number of leading people to try to ensure that however far we go, what is produced is benevolent and kind. Also, there's nothing theoretically that limits you to simply one AGI. Although if there is a superintelligence, it's hard to see that it would brook any rivals. It's easy to speculate. It's interesting to speculate. It's actually important to speculate because everybody else is doing it. And if we don't think about these things, then we won't have anything to say. Now, from the perspective of Scripture, people take different views. There are people that say, look, God intervened in the first Homo Deus project, Genesis 3. He intervened in the second one, the Tower of Babel. Let's build a city and a tower that it can reach to heaven. So they reckon that God's always going to put a stop. Nothing shall be impossible to them, it says in Genesis, and God stopped it. But I think there's a risk there, because it simply tells you what happened on those occasions. And I just suspect that the book of Revelation is warning us not to be so certain that human artifacts won't advance to such a stage that the entire world is going to be deceived. You don't deceive an entire world with something extremely unsophisticated and simple.
Lennox explains that artificial intelligence is not bad in itself, but it can become dangerous if developed without a solid moral framework. In 2084, he writes, "If we do not have a solid moral framework, the technology we have created can turn against us. What began as a tool can end up becoming a master." That warning resonates deeply in our time. What began as a simple scientific advance now threatens to redefine human identity. Lennox adds, "We are building machines that reflect our image, and if we are not careful, we could end up worshipping what we have made." He said this in his lecture, Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Humanity, Oxford 2021. Those words directly evoke the prophecies from the book of Revelation, where it speaks of an image that speaks and deceives the inhabitants of the earth. Many Christians have begun to ask themselves, could artificial intelligence be the means through which this prophecy is fulfilled? Lennox does not claim that artificial intelligence is the Antichrist, but he acknowledges its potential as an instrument of global control. In an interview with Premier Christianity, he said, "The real danger is not that machines become like men, but that men become like machines." This accurately describes what we are already seeing. People trusting algorithms more than their own discernment, artificial voices replacing the voice of conscience. Artificial intelligence reveals both the ingenuity and the pride of human beings. John Lennox reminds us that the great danger is not technological advancement, but the human attempt to replace God with his own creation. As he himself warns in his book 2084, the question is not whether machines will think like humans, but whether humans will continue to think as beings created in the image of God. The Bible already spoke to us of a time when the image would be given power to speak and deceive. The truth is that humanity is closer than ever to creating an image that speaks, one that can seduce the entire world with its artificial voice. Because the danger does not lie in artificial intelligence coming to life, but in humanity losing its own by ceasing to think biblically. So friends, I would like to know in the comments what you think about all of this. John Lennox does not see artificial intelligence as an antichrist, although many do see it that way. Rather, he believes it can make humanity forget the biblical and turn only to an image or a voice, such as artificial intelligence. So I look forward to reading your comments. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell for more. See you next time. Tell me, can we count on you?